So first thing we're going to look at here, number one, is this report from the Chinese government, and they've been releasing this report for a long time. They do it twice a year, and this is the 46th edition, and they share information about Chinese internet users. It's a really long report, but I've got some of these things summed up for you. Now there are 940 million internet users in China. That's quite a few, right? That's 3 times USA. And how many of them are mobile? 932 million. So basically everybody that's on the internet now in China is mobile, almost everybody. So all the marketing that we do in China is mobile, basically. I mean, it needs to be mobile, and it needs to work on desktop too. There's no desktop only marketing in China. A new stat that I saw included in there is the number of remote workers. They said there's 199 million remote workers in China now. Actually, this report is for June of this year. So that's pretty cool. That's going to open up the market for selling them anything that makes their work at home experience more convenient. I think that they're going to be buying more software, and we're going to look at that in the next segment too. There's 285 million rural internet users, and the rural internet user penetration rate went up from 40 to 50%, because everybody that is a young person in a major Chinese city, they're already on the internet. So the uptick in new users coming on is in other places. It's either older people or it's people in rural areas. And about older people, the proportion of internet users that are 50 or over increased from 17 to 23%. I like to hear that because our company does a lot of work in B2B marketing, and some of those decision makers are older. So I think it's cool that we see them getting online too. Just one more thing. I'll let Lawrence have his feedback here too if he wants, but one more thing is that there are 4.7 million websites in China, according to this report. And that's actually down. That's down from 5.4 million websites 2 years ago. I'd guess that the reason that is because, people aren't setting up websites all the time if they want to do marketing, if they have a small business or something. Instead of setting up a website on their own, they're setting up a WeChat mini site, or maybe the Taobao store. The Taobao store has been popular for a long time, or they're setting up an account on Douyin or on many other platforms.
I think, as Tate mentioned, that in rural area there is a clearly better improvement compared with a city one. I think for the last 2 or 3 years, and from now on, I think it's very important for the government to setting up business in those rural areas, because we have a lot of population in rural areas, and I think that is why we have seen the number rises in rural area, because government is helping out there. So I would say, from my point of view, I even saw one of my uncle using his mobile phone to do the live back to beginning of this year. I think it was on January.
To do what? A live stream?
To live stream, to selling some potatoes.
Right.
Yeah. He was like 65 already. I would say he's like very terrible with use of mobile phone. He could even barely use WeChat back to 2018, I would say. And now he could even set up a live stream on Pinduoduo and to sell some stuff. I think that's just incredible.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. I was going to mention Pinduoduo too. They've made a lot of money by both selling to people in rural areas and also making it easier for manufacturers and other people to sell via e-commerce. It's kind of a funny trend in China that we should talk about sometime in more detail, but there is that trend of farmers or other food producers like fishermen going online and live streaming and selling directly online, because it's just so easy for them to get started. And I guess that they're usually not creating their own website. They don't want to get into those kind of details. They don't even want to do something as simple as setting up a WordPress site. They want something simpler than that. They want to just get started with that with the live streaming or WeChat or whatever it is.
Yes, I think it is just so difficult for them to set up a website. I mean, like they could even barely use a smartphone. Like, how do they have the ability to set up a website and to do the operation? So I
Hmm.
think easy apps like Pinduoduo give them a chance to sell those stuff to the country, to everywhere with the delivery system in China.
Yeah. Okay. So long story short, if you're selling into China, everybody that was young and urban was already online. And now the people that are getting online are also people in rural areas or older people. I'm going to move on to the next one here.